It's the Life After High School podcast.
So we could start off. First off, how you been? Jeez.
Good. Yeah. No, it's been awesome just traveling around. Europe is so sweet for just being able to like jump into another country. And like the other day I just like booked a boat tour to Norway. I'm like, oh, okay. Casual. Yeah. Yeah. And I can take the train in 40 minutes to Sweden. It's just
That's not too bad.
Yeah, no. So it's super cool to be here for like all that stuff. The winters here are like just kind of rainy so far. So that part of it's not as fun because I would prefer to be like snowboarding out west. But
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because we got right now we got a bit of snow. We had like 29 centimeters last week.
Yeah. My mom was saying there's like a big storm and stuff.
Yeah.
So. But
yeah, that wasn't too great, but a lot of shoveling.
Yeah. You're still in Sudbury though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of working here and then trying to just live out, save as much money and like go travel, go do things and then slowly start to form a life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? It's not as easy. Yeah, exactly. It's not as easy as it seems on paper, so
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
What type of tea are you drinking?
I have a mint tea right now.
Nice. Okay.
I would tell you what it says on the little thing, but it's in Danish.
Oh.
My Danish is only so good. But it's a little Christmas mug, which is kind of cute.
Oh, that's cute. That's sick. Nice. Yeah, I just got, I don't know, it's classic orange pico, and I can read what it says on the label.
Okay.
So nothing too extreme, but it does me justice.
I like the mug though.
No, thank you. It was I think it was a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. I can't remember. I get a lot of them.
So many gifts or so many mugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny. Actually, Europe seems to have just like so many of these tiny little mugs, and it's not my style at all. Like I'd almost have two of these in order to fit into a mug. Yeah. So.
Jeez. Yeah, because it looks pretty small.
Yeah, it is. I was trying to buy some bigger ones today, but couldn't even find any. So it's like
weird.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll kick this off.
Oh.
All right. So, kind of take us through your transition and like just tell me your story from graduating high school to your program and all the way through to now. Kind of like catch everybody and myself up.
It's everyone. Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I graduated 3 years ago now. My God. But I essentially backpacked to Europe.
Yep.
Like right out of uni with Jessica. You know, Jessica Bergeron.
Yeah.
Anyways, her brother was living in Ireland, and then my family was in Netherlands. So we were like, sweet, there's 2 locations. And then we just heard how cheap it is to do like Czech Republic and Hungary and stuff. So we're like, all right, cool, we got our 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we backpacked for a whole month and had so much fun. And it was a huge reality check from like, I just graduated from all of my schooling, and yet there is so much history and geography that I do not know. Like,
it's insane, eh?
Oh, it was so crazy. And like, I just remember in Budapest, especially, like we went to like the riverside, and there was all these like little shoes, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. Yeah. And then it was like a war memorial of like all the people shot in the river, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Like when I think of World War II back in the day, I didn't think of anywhere other than like Germany, France, and like Canada saved the day on D-Day. You know, like it was just like, oh my gosh, like so uncultured. Little did I know. So anyways, did all that, got back and was like, you know, now what? Because my degree was in forensic science. So it was a pretty like career job if I were to decide. Oh, I was debating doing RCMP actually. For a while. So then I applied to the RCMP and a bunch of other forensic-y jobs. And then I also applied to a bunch of traveling jobs because I was like, well, I just had the great time. Let's do that. Nice. And sure enough, by the end of the summer, August, September-ish, I heard back from a cruise company in Australia, and I had got a security position on a cruise boat.
Hey, unreal.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Straight out the gate.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was sick. So by October 10th, I think, it was like I got to do Thanksgiving with the family.
Nice.
And then after Thanksgiving weekend, they flew me out, like full everything. Yeah. Like they paid for the flights, hotel, everything. And then a car picks you up and you get to this like cruise boat. And I had never even been on a cruise boat before, so I was like, this is absolutely insane. Yeah, I remember the first day I was like walking around with another girl who had joined, and we're like, there's a casino, oh my gosh, there's a this, like, yeah, the boat held like 4,000 people, so it was, yeah, it was huge. So yeah, just like super crazy. And then it was pretty nuts because I was forensic science, you know, but most of my colleagues were actually like post-military and things like that because security on a cruise ship is much more like police work, kind of, you know?
Yeah. Less investigative.
Yeah, unfortunately. But sure enough, like it got pretty interesting pretty quick, mainly for the fact that I was female. So anytime that there was like a domestic or anything involving a woman, more often than not, well, always there'd have to be a girl with her. But more often than not, you know, they'd almost be like the less threatening part of the situation, stereotypically. And I would end up just kind of like thrown in with some girl somewhere while they dealt with some conflict with like a aggressive male or something. So yeah, so that was like pretty intense. Cause like one of my first times, it was like the first week or something, and there was like this girl whose boyfriend was attempting to commit suicide on the boat. And then when she tried to stop him, then, he was trying to hurt her. So then like a housekeeper like locked her into a cabinet, or like this closet, and they like called us. So then when they got there, obviously like all the main guys were like, we need to get this guy, you know, like down and safe and blah, blah, blah. And then I was just like locked into a room with the girlfriend. And I was like, hello. Yeah. So I was like, do you want to talk about it? Like, but I actually got pretty lucky because she was just like a chattermouth, and I'm a, you know, a girl always down for a chat. So next thing you know, it was just like having this big chat about, you know, her relationships and la 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 and everything that had got them into that position. Wow. So it was pretty intense. And then, but then those are the things that became quite interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, whenever it's crazy though, people, you think like, oh, holiday, but like if I can give anyone advice, if you are going on your first vacation as a couple, do not go on a cruise ship. Just because you're like so locked, and there's a casino where you can gamble. There's a bar with nonstop alcohol, and the like classic case is just like one person in the couple wanting to just party the whole time, and the other person like wanting to wake up early and get off and do all the, you know, the trips and everything like that. And then them just like fighting. And I've had to like, girls have to like pack their suitcase and like sat down on the stairs, and they're like, I'm done. And I'm like, where are you gonna go? You know,
yeah, you
like
just swim back.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, and like, it's just always funny. Like on the radio, being like, Emily, there's a girl with a bunch of suitcases in the stairwell. Well, great.
Do you want to go keep her company for a couple minutes?
Yeah, literally, and that'll just be me. Yeah, and like, so many times, and like, but you have to obviously be quite nice. But sometimes I'm like, why are you dating these people?
Yeah, if they're making you go through that when you're supposed to be on vacation.
Yeah. But it's always on the way back. People have had like the best time, and now they're thinking of their crappy lives at home, and they're like, nah, don't want to go.
Oh.
But yeah, so that was pretty epic. So then actually it paid really good. So in my contract was 4 months, and then in the 4 months I actually paid off my school debt.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
That's
so I'm totally good. But I was like, you know what? I also want to travel. So then I extended another 2 months. So that I could travel with the money.
Right.
So then, and then plus I had already missed Christmas and stuff at home. So it was one of those things that was like really not gonna miss anymore. Like, February in Canada is great and all, but I was living in Australia where it was like nonstop sunshine. So
yeah, I'd much prefer that. Like I love the Great White North, but
yeah. Plus, like I feel like coming in halfway through, like your body, I would just be sick and like just be cold, and I'd be like, oh, my tan would be lost. Anyway, so then so I extended until April, and then had a friend who was super down to just come meet me in Australia. So my friend Sarah flew over, and we rented they're called Juicy Vans, and it's just like a caravan. It was so funny though. They literally just, as long as you have a driver's license, they just hand you these vans. So, and they drive on the other side of the road in Australia.
Oh.
I remember leaving like the place and being like, oh my God, like what am I doing? And like,
was it automatic or manual?
It was automatic.
Oh, okay.
The manual was cheaper, but I was like, you know what? I already have enough things to have to start my mind around. So I'm just going to go with the automatic. But there's so many roundabouts in Australia. So I actually had to like sit and wait until somebody else went around to be like, okay. So super entertaining. But yeah, we had a sweet trip. Don't speed in Australia. I got 3 tickets in 1 month. They have this terrible rule where it's a 10% rule. So whatever the speed limit is, you can only go 10% higher. So I got a ticket for $160 for going an 89 in an 80.
What?
Yeah. And I got a ticket of like $300 for going, it was like a 121 in a 110. It was brutal. When I got pulled over from the cops, I literally was like, surely like my light's out or something, or I'm not doing something right because I'm in Australia and I don't know every single rule. But no, he was like, do you know how fast you're going? And I was like, about 120. And he was like, do you know the speed limit? I was like, 110. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah.
And they wouldn't pull you over here for like 15 over.
Never.
In a school zone, like.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's incredible. What? Because one of my best friends is moving to Australia next year, and I want to tell him that immediately.
You should, yeah.
Like, you should pay attention to this podcast because there's some advice on there you might want to write down.
Yeah. Which area is he going?
He's going to Sydney.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I was out of Brisbane, where it's like never gets cold, but Sydney has so much happening, so it's a good time for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed up for him, but that's pretty sweet though. That's a good lesson to. Did you figured that out the wrong way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
10%. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but then I got my scuba dive certification. I learned how to surf. Like life was good. Yeah. And then went right down to Melbourne, where my friend was actually teaching English. So stayed with her.
Nice.
Had a great time, yeah. And then came out to Canada. Figured I should spend a little time at home. Mm-hmm. But actually, like a day after I was coming back, one of my best friends did like an extra year in uni.
Yeah.
So like she did teacher's college. So she was like, as my graduation gift, I want to drive out to Newfoundland to visit our other friend that was in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, sounds good. So like 2 days after I come back, get in the car to drive out to Newfoundland from Ontario. Had like an unreal drive. I recommend it to absolutely everybody. Like
drive out east.
Yeah. Like the east drive. First of all, like from Ontario, it's not actually that long of a drive. Like driving west is a lot longer.
Yeah.
So you could do it in like, we did 10 days, and that was like, it was nice.
You weren't rushing the drive or anything?
No, like as long as you're willing to do like 5-hour chunks.
Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad at all. I think James and we did like the most what we did for roads. I think it was like we did like a bunch of 6 hours and then a couple like 1 or 2 8s.
Yeah. But. Yeah. And like it's okay, especially if you're splitting the drive. So
yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. And when I went out to Newfoundland, I saw 10 moose on the island and 1 albino spirit moose, which was like unreal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we actually like put it on Instagram, and I got messages being like, "Do not post the location of this moose because they're like so rare and like hunted and stuff." And,
really?
Yeah. So.
Did you have to take it down?
No, I just couldn't post where I took it.
Okay, dope. Because I'm gonna go find that. I'm gonna call you out. Okay. That's pretty sweet. I'll look that up. That's pretty wicked.
Yeah, and then we went out to see like puffins and everything, like Newfoundland, super cool. And we saw icebergs, like, yeah, great time. But yeah, so road tripped out there, went back home, was like, sweet, took like a little summer job at just like an old camp I used to work at. I was like, have a nice summer, this would be great. And then had like a month still until camp started. So then my friend Logan from uni was living out in PEI. So she was kind of, you know, when you move out to a new province, you're kind of like lonely, especially because she went for a job. So she went totally so. So I was like, oh, screw it, I'll come spend 2 weeks with you. Yeah. Drove out to PEI, get a call from my friend who got a job out in Lake Louise. And he was like, do you want a job? Like, do you have a summer job? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And he was like, do you want a summer job in the mountains? And I was like, maybe.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So then he's like, email this girl your resume. Email her your resume. Within like an hour, get a call being like, can I have an interview? So like an hour later, I'm in a phone interview with this girl running a summer camp in Lake Louise. And she was like, oh, cool, you're amazing. Or no, she's like, I have a few more interviews and then like I'll call the winner back. And then calls me back like 10 minutes later.
Sure, she did.
She like calls me back 10 minutes later. She was like, never mind. I want you to work for me. I was like, okay. Yeah. And she's like, can you be up by Friday? This is a Wednesday and I'm in the wrong province. I was like, can we do Monday? She was like, yeah, okay. Monday works. So I actually drove PEI to Ontario in one day. So 16-hour drive. That was the longest drive I've ever done.
Were you solo?
All by myself, yeah.
Did you not go insane? Just talk to yourself or like?
Yeah, I think I called a lot of people. Like, like phone calls nonstop, music jam outs, like just anything I could. And like, yeah, so, and made it pretty safely. Like I told myself, like, if I get too tired, I'll stop and pay for a hotel, you know, but get to that. So yeah, so then did that. It was Pride Parade in Toronto, so I had like a sweet send off with like a big partying weekend, and then flew out to Lake Louise. Never been out west in my life, and the drive from like Calgary to Banff is like the craziest drive in my life. So I was like so stoked and whatever, and got there and just fell in love. Like the mountains are unreal. Yeah, so did a summer there, had no obligation to anything. So then while I was in the summer, they were like, you should apply to work at the ski resort for the winter. And I was like, down, like I snowboard, love it, blah, blah, blah. So applied to work the winter, got the job for the winter. Then I had a trip to India planned. So I backpacked to India for a month with some friends. But yeah, Sid and Jess. And then we came back. I did the snow season out west. Had the time of my life there. Met my current boyfriend.
Nice.
And then he went to another ski resort. We were like, oh, we don't know. Might not work. Whatever. Worked.
Nice.
So then,
unreal.
Then, So then I moved out to Fernie, BC, which is like a smaller town because Lake Louise is like super touristy. Great time. But, you know, you just like, it's nice to be out of the tourists. So we moved to this small town for the summer. Had a sick time there in Fernie, BC. Just like waitress, but waitressing in a tourist town makes you mad cash. So saved a ton of money. And then, my best friend got married. Had a time in Canada. Saw some friends and stuff. So stayed in Ontario for like 2 months. And then as of January 3rd, moved out to Copenhagen. And here we are, a year later. Still here.
Nice. So what is it you do right now in Copenhagen?
So right now I'm working for a startup. I've gotten into the startup scene and I super love it. So I'm doing marketing, which is perfect for like a travel job.
Yeah.
Obviously picking up science jobs when I move all the time is just not working out. So marketing is like, you can do it remotely. And I can move and I can go on holiday whenever I want. And as long as I'm getting content out there, then they don't care. So the company is actually called Ratung.
Okay.
Which sounds super ridiculous, but it's all for skiing and snowboarding. So it's kind of the dream for me because in a perfect world, I'll get to the point where I can just write content on ski resorts and I can just ski for free all the time.
Yeah,
like,
the only way you get to do it is to ski. So
yeah, exactly. Like I'll just snowboard and write about all the resorts and everything like that, and it'll be a great time.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I've had to like waitress and stuff to keep, money in the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to travel a lot.
Yeah. I went up to Russia, to St. Petersburg, and
How was that trip?
it was pretty unreal. I stuck with, they advise you to like get tours and stuff. Usually isn't my style, but I took the advice. And the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a safety issue. It's just more like you would get so lost and you really can't understand people.
Yeah,
so,
Russian isn't.
No, it's not like
easy language to.
a few words. Yeah. So I did end up getting like a pretty unreal tour. And it was for like a few days. So we did that, yeah, and then saw everything. I think everything there is to see, but super huge European influence in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So it was kind of surprising. Like, yeah, if you know your Russian history, it makes a lot of sense. But I did not know my Russian history other than like the war, you know. But so super cool to do that.
Oh. Oh. Man, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then I've been to Germany a bunch. I flew to Germany for $15 from Copenhagen.
Get the what?
Yeah. So
for $15 you flew to Germany.
$15, yeah.
How do you? Is that a deal? Was it like a buy one get one free, and your friend bought or your boyfriend bought a ticket, and you got $15? Like
no, it was a sale, but my friend wanted to go to Berlin, and so she flew over here. We did some days in Copenhagen, and she's like, yeah, maybe around like the 1st or the 2nd we'll fly to Berlin. I was like, okay, I'll look up flights. I was like, I'm gonna book it right now. So yeah, like we got 4 tickets all for $15 each. Yeah. So, but I was talking to this guy who's like he's like retired, and he was like, this was just in Copenhagen when I worked at the restaurant, and he said that literally like just wait for like a seat sale, and if you are retired or have like a solid chunk of time off, you can literally wait. And he's like, he found a one-way ticket for $300 to get to Europe, and then he just waits, and then as soon as tickets are like under $50, he just like books wherever that's going. He's like, more times than not, you find things. So as long as you have the flexibility in your plan, like you're so fine. So.
Right. And now, do you find those like on just average flight sites, or is there like a typical one you go to that's been? I go
to Skyscanner.
Skyscanner.
Go to, yeah. There is also one called Momondo, but Skyscanner I use pretty solidly. But there has been a good amount of times like I'll find the deal in Skyscanner and then see what airline's offering it. And generally the airline is also offering the deal. So I've been able to book through the actual airline's website and get the like discount price,
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, and then when you do book through the site, sometimes you just get better deals and stuff like that. Like more, when you book like through a budget airline company, oftentimes they'll stick you like the back seats or just like really shitty seats and stuff. But if you book through the airline, even if you're getting a budget ticket, you'll still get the better seats. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've flown like with some pretty like budget airlines, but ended up with like the extra legroom seats and this and that because nobody wants to pay the extra money for those seats. And I didn't pay to pick a seat at all. So I just get put like in the leftover seats.
Right.
Which ends up being expensive one. So
just kind of works out. You pay less for the more. Oh shit.
Yeah.
These are like travel hacks and shit. Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, speaking of which, do you write any of these recently in any of your blog posts?
Yeah. So I have a blog called Where's Emily At, which is I think pretty accurate.
Pretty much, yeah. I like the name.
Yeah. So my plan is still in the works, but my plan is to catch up on all my trips. So there'll be like one page that has literally all my trips, and then another page that's like more posts. So like I have one coming up that's like the craziest things I've seen in Denmark, and it's just like some nonsense that goes on in Denmark. But Yeah, but in general, like that's more like advice kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just like very big on just telling people to like stop waiting for the perfect moment because there's never going to be a perfect moment to travel. Like it's always
Yeah.
like time, money, or health. So if you have the time and money, you're losing your health. If you have the health and the time, you have no money. If you have the money and the health, you have no time. So.
Yeah, it's you can never have all three. You have one or you have two at most. You can never have all three.
But I think it's also the reality of like people can need to like learn how to travel cheaper. Like so many people get this like we're on a holiday and just like spend all their money, then come back from that trip and never go again because they just blew all their money. And I'm just like, you can travel a lot cheaper. But so you just have to kind of figure it out and like what suits you and yeah. So that's kind of what it's about in general. And then, just where I'm at with for my family and stuff. It's also just nice. They like read out about it when they want to go on trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To see what I liked or did and get advice and stuff like that.
Nice. That's pretty sweet. What inspired you to like start the blog?
I think mostly just people asking about the trips. Because it's like, especially when I met up with family and stuff that I didn't see that often, they'd be like, tell me everything. And I would, but sometimes I wouldn't get to everyone or people would constantly be like, oh my gosh, I need to hear about that trip, you know? So I was like, wouldn't it be nice just to have it in one spot? So that everybody gets a little like update. Here's what I'm doing. And then they can kind of follow along. I will say, like, so I got it. I've had it for almost a year now. It's actually been messaging me recently, being like, "Are you going to renew? Are you going to renew?"
Nice.
But my goal was to have it all caught up by now, so that I like could really do like, like I just went to like, I don't know, I just went to Sweden and like people could like literally know like more up to date. But I've done so many trips, which I'm so happy about, but I haven't been able to catch up with my life yet. So I definitely need to like sit down and like catch up just to keep it. Yeah. Cause like it would be nicer to just, like go on the trip and then do like a nice recap and have it all fresh and whatever. Right now it's still being like, what did I do again? And blah, blah, blah. And what did I like?
Do you kind of like find you do it as a summary of each trip? Or do you just go like on day one I did this, day two I did this kind of like follow in my footsteps, or do you summarize it?
Yeah, so with the ones I'm doing from like farther the past, I can't do the day one, day two thing. Yeah. I do have some trips where I had wrote it all out, but I think that's more for like maybe future trips where I could almost write it as I go. Nice. The other thing though is once you're traveling more than a week, nobody wants to hear about that day by day, Yeah,
it gets a little like there's sometimes little moments that'll stick out, but
yeah. So like even like when I just went to Greece at the end of August on real trip. And
we're gonna come back to that after.
Yeah. For Greece I might actually do like I only did 7 days and like I think we kind of crushed it. / like maybe this one day I could have used more in like Athens versus the island. So like I think with a post like that, I'm just like, okay, here's day one, here's day two, blah, blah, blah. Here's what you need to buy because these deals are unreal and here's what you shouldn't waste your time on,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with like my big backpacking trips where I'm gone for like a month, like no, it's more summary for sure. And I think the message of it too is like, don't have a plan. Like run into people that are awesome and join their plan or have a plan and like switch it when the bus is selling me $1, like, so.
I like that. Cause I'm trying to plan, cause I got my girlfriend last, I think for Christmas or her birthday, I should know this. Her birthday, I think and I want to plan it to do it in 2020. So I'm definitely going to review the blog you wrote about Greece, and that's why I asked you about it, right? Because I remember telling you about this, but I want to do, because I was wondering like length of time I should go and everything. And my gift is the ticket there.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just also a little, how is it traveling with a significant other?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not our first trip though, like together. So that won't be a problem. We're not going to go on a cruise ship when we go and hang out for a couple months, but
Oh, good.
crazy.
No, I think one of the biggest things for traveling with not just a significant other, but literally anybody is budget. Like you have to talk about it before. I do not care how awkward it is. Like you have to because it's just, you have to be on the same page. And literally almost to like numbers, you know, like are you bringing $2,000 or are you bringing $4,000? You just need to know. And then usually it's good to agree beforehand on like the big things or the big things. So are you going scuba diving while you're there? Are you going skydiving? You know, like if you isolate like, okay, well that's what I like to do, but, or just going to a spa that's really expensive.
You guys went quadding, didn't you? Did you go quadding?
Yeah. Oh no, but you will also go quadding. I am telling you that. It's only like 30 euros per day, and you get the quad, and both of you can fit on it. You don't need any insurance, anything. It's like literally the most nonsense. Yeah.
What?
I do. Yeah. Oh, it's so cheap. And gas, like $10 to fill up the tank, and you will not run out of gas. We had for 2 days, we didn't run out at all. Like we didn't have to top it up, nothing.
Wow.
So,
and it came with a full tank at 30 euros.
Yeah. So you just have to return it with what you had in it.
Oh, okay.
So
it's fine to buy a tank of gas.
Yeah. We pretty much got it empty. So we had to return it empty, but we like filled it up right away. It took $10 or 10, I guess it was euros to fill up. And then that was all we ever paid. So 40 euros between two of us.
That's incredible. Between two people too. That's not bad at all.
You ride double. And you might as well ride double just because then you have a navigator and stuff. There's no GPS or anything on it.
Okay. How do you find that as like a way to see the islands and everything? It's like a way to explore. Yeah.
It's 100% the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, because the buses are the most unreliable bus service I've ever used in my life. Like, hilariously terrible. But so cheap. Like €1.50 that I was like, I'm still gonna wait for it, but it will be inconvenient. So for like our main days, we had the quads and it was perfect. But like for going back to the ship and stuff like that, I just left literally like 3 hours before my ship just to make sure that these buses didn't screw us over. Wow. Because they run on their own schedule. They're just like completely their own thing. But yeah, so, and then I just hiked a big lot of it.
Yeah.
Like on Santorini, I literally hiked from like the main town all the way to the tip, and like that's the best way to see anywhere. But nobody wants to like hike 5 days straight, you know. So
yeah, it seems like a lot. But where'd you guys what'd you do for sure? Hospitality, like where'd you stay and everything during just hostels?
Airbnbs. Which is actually amazing because we got the cutest little like old style Greek houses like right in the little alleyways and stuff.
Yeah.
If you are going to Santorini, I have a lady that I can like give you her info because she's awesome. And it's just like so cozy. But the trick was just getting it out of the main town. So especially with like the islands, they always have like a very like, you know, central town. And when you're in that central town or like right on the edge of the cliff with the white houses, you're paying so much money. But then you're also in a town where the food's double the price. So, you know, we went there and we had a great time, but we didn't stay there. We stayed at like a south part of the island. The beach was 10 minutes away. Like it was great. So
nice.
I think that was, just the trick, so to speak.
So with that, now I'm curious. How many countries have you been to?
I've been to 27 countries.
Fuck. That's pretty impressive. You must be proud of that number.
Yeah, I hit 25 at 25 years.
Nice.
So I was like, whew.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So now, which of all the trips you've been on or coolest places you've traveled, which would you recommend above any of them? Like, where would you recommend?
Okay. Well, okay. One of my most recent trips was to Jordan.
Oh, okay, right.
And my God, everyone needs to go. Like Petra is one of the coolest places I've ever been to in my life. It's like the lost city.
Yeah.
And like everybody knows it from Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
like the treasury. But it's like 100 kilometers of like lost city that these people just like abandoned. And like the details in the rocks and like the houses, and you can just like picture the village like through the mountains. Like it was just so unreal. And then we went to like Wadi Rum, which is like nearby, where you're just like in a desert town and you're just like riding in the back of a Jeep the whole time. And you get to ride, like there's like just camels everywhere, and like those, actually like parts of Aladdin was shot there. So it's just like that real desert life.
Wow.
So that was super, super cool. I really liked Australia. So I think, if you want like a beach holiday, like the northeast bit of Australia is just like unreal. Like the scuba diving is insane.
What was it like to get your course when you were there?
It was good. So I did it in the Gold Coast, which is actually like, if I were to do it again, I wouldn't go there because the farther down the coast you get, the wavier it is.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why, the behind it, but essentially like the top bit of the island is quite calm, and that's where like the Great Barrier Reef is and everything like that. So yeah, the shores are as rough, but in Gold Coast, like, it's like surfer's paradise and everything. So they do have these like wicked waves, but it makes the scuba diving a little less good because it's really turning up the water all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the course in general was really great. Like the people were awesome. I felt quite confident and stuff, but I didn't get to see as many cool things as I did on like other scuba diving.
Right. Do you see any sharks?
I did, but not scuba diving, just snorkeling, which is maybe sketchier.
What type of sharks?
I couldn't even tell you anymore. But it was in Papua New Guinea. I saw them.
Oh, cool.
But funny enough, I shocked myself. But my first question to the local that was with us was like, "Can I go down?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "They're sharks." But you never want to come in from a shark, like from above them, apparently. So, like, well, I'm above them right now anyway, so.
Yeah, just hop right in.
It's like you swim towards them. Well, we were already in the water. We were just snorkeling.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, damn. This is in Papua New Guinea, eh?
Yeah, Papua New Guinea was pretty cool. I mean, yeah. Oh, and then Yellowstone National Park.
Where?
Yellowstone National Park in the States.
Yeah.
So it's in like Wyoming/Montana, like it's on some borders. One of the craziest places I've ever been to. You literally it's like you're on Mars. Like
really?
You're on a different planet. And it has so much to offer. Like you need at least 3 days just to like fast track the park, but you could even do like 5. Like literally like grizzly bears, bald eagles, buffaloes, elk, like flaming pools of sulfuric acid and like volcanoes erupting and everything you want in life. Like the craziest place ever.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Yeah, and like colors like you'd never imagine and everything.
Wow. No. So, question for you then: with all these experiences, where do you feel traveling best fits into the schedule of life?
I suppose it depends. Like, I think, like, I like how I did it, like graduating uni and going. But if you do that, like, you definitely need to get the job to support yourself because we're all a little bit broke when we graduate, right?
Yeah.
So it worked out perfect for me. You know, I got everybody can just go work on cruise ships after they graduate and we'll all be fine. But
yeah,
now,
really.
Yeah. But even I have friends that have like gotten into teaching jobs right away in other countries and things like that. And like, it's just prime because I think later will be harder to travel. Like, obviously once kids are in the picture, like, and like, even now I'm starting to get people being like, no, shouldn't you be settling down? So like, so if you start it younger, you have less people telling you not to.
People are always going to tell you what they want or what they think is best for you and stuff. So
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think out of uni is a great time because also like people, when you're applying for jobs, like right after uni is we're so narrow minded to like our hometowns, our uni towns, and like maybe some other town that my friend lives in. But like if you literally open yourself up to the whole world, then there's a million more jobs out there. Like if you're willing to go to like Qatar, it is made up of so many expats and you make mad cash. Like it's insane. And so much of it is tax free. So like, my friend's nursing in Saudi Arabia and like she is probably the richest person I know right now. Like so if you're willing to like take those jobs in other countries, like you just get exposed to like such a different way of life and like I just think it's prime.
I think you gave everybody a money life hack just there. So write that one down on the time. There's 41 minutes. You wrote that? You said that? Oh. Nice. Yeah. So out of all this, what one lesson you think has stuck out for you above everything?
I think it's just like, don't care what other people think. Like I've definitely got the, like, what are you doing with your life? Or why aren't you working in your field and all that? And it just doesn't matter. Like, I think the first question you should ever ask anybody is just, are you happy? Are you having a good time?
Right.
But we're so in this life where it's like, so what are you doing for work? And I'm like, ugh, it like hurts my soul when I get asked that.
Yeah.
I tell people I've just been retired multiple times because unemployed doesn't sound as good.
Unemployed.
Yeah.
Been retired a few times.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I'm like, I had a job. I finished it.
Yeah. And now, kind of to close then, do you have a favorite quote?
If there's a will, there's a way.
Unreal.
That is my favorite.
I like that. Easy.
I got asked it on an interview the other day. I was like, huh. But it came to me automatically that time, so it must be it.
What interview? Where was this?
It was actually super random, but as of January, I'm either hoping to go full time with my startup or I'll do like almost full time and then have a other part-time job on the side.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like looking at what's out there for this part-time job on the side.
Yeah.
Cause in the startup scene, like, it's a totally different world than like corporate business, but essentially like money's not as guaranteed. But like we're coming into a big investment and stuff. So maybe we can start to set up like more of a salary.
Okay, cool.
But I still have to talk to them about that.
What's the difference then between the corporate like business versus the startup?
Startup is like a million times more chill. But the thing is, like a startup, you just have to have people that are super passionate about it and like you're all in it because you believe in it.
Right.
So you're along for the ride. You're not in it for the money. You're, like one day, hopefully, it'll make lots of money and I'll be sitting in a super nice financial place. But right now it's like when we get a client, we get a sale, we all get a bit. When we don't get a client, we don't get a sale. None of us get a bit, so.
I see.
It's not, if you were working for a startup on salary, that would be very different. You'd be on salary, but I'm like a co-founder. So I'm in it for the business. So so.
Okay.
Cool. And corporate business is just, I think lots of those people really have to step on other people to get up in the world. And the startup scene, it's just like, we just hype each other up and like.
It's driven by passion.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
So, I went to like a pitch the other day and like just we're chatting. And it was like there's lots of investors, so very like corporate business. And it was just, my God, it hurts my soul to talk to them. But, yeah, like I literally had a man, I was talking about sustainability randomly. And this guy was like, the polar bears are all dead, all right? And I was like, hey. Like, what is wrong with you? And like,
it hurts. It hurts to hear. Like, they're not all dead, actually, but like, open up a book or a Google search, man. Come on. Oh, that's painful. But
and the amount of times he just like told it, like, I get it, like with corporate business, and with investors in general, it's not about you as an individual. It's about how are you going to make money? Because for the investors, they need you to make money so they can get money on their investment. I get that. But the amount of times that this man was like, I do not care who you are. As an individual, you do not matter. I'm like, thank you. Like, you know, like, I do understand that. But, you know, he's like, you could be the nicest girl in the world. It wouldn't matter to me.
It's all about what you're.
Yeah.
Like, so, wow.
But, yeah. So I was just like, the cringe of business is just, but there's also just, you know, bad people in the world and good people. It's fine.
Yeah. That's stressful, though. That must have been, like, frustrating. But,
yeah, I mean, I found it amusing a little bit, actually. I had this, like, perma smile of, like, you're such a dick. Like,
oh, yeah, they are. Polar bears are all dead.
Yeah. But I did, when I came out of the meeting, I did have someone stop me, and they were like, you were so good at just, like, having, like, some little comments that, like, went back that kind of, like, put them in their place. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I hope something. Yeah, this one girl was like, I was about to just be like, I don't even know about my numbers. I don't know anything. Like, because they're such, like, dicks. And I was just like, okay, all right. No.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like, respond in the, like, condescending way, but it's coming from a good place at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
And
I'm a better person than you, and I know it, so it's okay.
It's not but that's cool though. That's cool to know the difference though, and like, because everyone I feel it's like if you're doing something and it's making money, that you're all in the same boat, but you're not, which I think is pretty eye-opening. For me, it is as well, but.
And lots of my friends that work in corporate, they're like, I'm a number. I know I'm a number, you know, like.
I'll be replaced, like.
Yeah. Plus, I think the biggest difference, honestly, is like if you're in an office and it's like everybody's coming in 9 o'clock, sitting at their desk working, lunchtime hits, you know, it doesn't matter if they're in the middle of a project. It's lunchtime. We're going. We're not getting paid for this half hour. Okay, we're being paid again. We better be sitting down. Like, that's corporate. And startups like, sweet, what are we going to do today? Here's this. Here's what I'm thinking. Blah, blah, blah. Here's what I achieved. And then you do your business for a bit. They're like,
it's driven on energy. Like the energy.
Like, yeah. And then it's like, should we go to lunch? And someone will be like, I just got to finish a call. You're like, okay, cool. Lunch in half hour then. You know, like, so different.
Nice. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I like it a lot. And there's a big community of it in Denmark, but I think it'll be big around the world soon. So.
Nice. Are you planning any ski trips in the future?
Oh yeah, we're planning our first trip out to, I think, France this February, hopefully. But it'll be my first time skiing in Europe. I'm slightly stoked, but also I hear it's all groomers, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm like, give me power and trees.
Yeah. Do you snowboard, eh?
Yeah. There's also the minority over here.
Yeah, well, because I've been skiing a few times. Like, I recently started up. Girlfriend and I went on a trip, and we're going again in February. Not in France, but in Blue Mountain, I believe.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah, so that'll be fun. And that's something that I've kind of winter sports I want to get into. So, more because I do it, and I'm like I'm not falling down hills, and these are difficult, steep enough hills. The place, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. So. That's definitely something I'm trying to lean more into, but France, I'll wait before I'm not on you guys' level yet.
So So, but I mean, go out once you get like confident enough, just go out west and like the boarding is so amazing out there. But Ontario doesn't have anything in comparison. Actually, you know what? As a stepping stone, do like Quebec, like Mount Tremblant. Super nice in between, has a pretty wild party scene, so you can get like a bit of both.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was.
No, because I feel like I'm trying to think of the good ones in Ontario. Like I know Blue Mountain's up there, and then like there's obviously every city has one.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, up north, I liked Mount Antoine out in out kind of east, Mattawa.
Yeah.
Had a good time there, and Searchmont.
Searchmont, yeah.
Up the other way. Sault Ste. Marie, yes, that's it.
Okay.
I was like,
I
know my friend lives like right near. Yeah.
I think it's weird. All right, nice.
So, but I think, I mean, yeah, going into Quebec is probably your better bet, like for bigger ones.
Right.
But Blue Mountain, and there's another one down there, Mount.
Not Trump.
No, Tremblant out west. I don't know. There's another one right near Blue Mountain. That's not bad.
Oh, Horseshoe? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, K. Sweet.
Yeah,
okay. That's where I first learned, actually. Shut up, grade 7 ski trip.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. No, that's okay. Sweet. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to get into more because I'm not really much of skating's hockey. You know, like requires a lot, but I like skiing seems a lot more fun. And then the trip aspect of skiing that you can just go on ski trips. You can't really go on many skating trips. You know,
No.
or like toboggan trips, but
and ski trips are. So.
Oh, sweet. So Emily, when I go to Greece, you'll be the first person I'll ask about the woman in Santorini.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. 100%. It'll be easy. So yeah, I appreciate your time though. I really do. It was really fun hearing from you and cool talking to you.
Nice to catch up. If you see James and all them, say hi for me.
Oh, I definitely will.
Everybody hugs.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry about that. For sure.
I know.
Nice.
I actually can't come back home for a little while, so I'm like, oh, Christmas. But yeah, maybe in the spring I'll get everyone together. Sweet. I tend to just be like, everybody come hang out with me. But then it tends to be like a nice reunion for everyone. So
I'll definitely make the journey wherever you are when you make it into Canada. So
good.
Awesome.